welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, some recipes are just so nostalgic that we just always want to make them over and over again. And one of those recipes that always comes to mind is a bone soup with split peas served with Dombolo. Woo, Dumi, take me back to KZN.
Yes, Palesa, this is home right here. If there's ever a dish that reminds me of home, that reminds me of my mom, it's her split pea soup in Namatambo, Palesa. Winter was nothing without the soup, so I think we better put the rest of SA onto it. To make this delicious recipe, chef, we've got some beef bones. Let me specify bones, but there must be meat here, obviously, because you still want to bite that bit of meat there. Some split peas, some onions, some garlic. Thyme, you've got my carrots and celery, which you can actually start chopping for me. And then, chef, you've got the honor of making Dombolo for us.
I feel very honored today. Indeed.
To start it off, chef, I'm going to start browning my meat because that's the first step. I've got my meat on very high. So all I'm going to be doing right now, browning our meat, making sure that we get that nice crusty brown skin on the outside and then keep it nice and soft. People wonder why we do that. That's basically to make sure you keep your meat nice and juicy in the center. But then because also we're going to cook it at quite a bit of a high temperature. So that just helps to keep it soft. And then you, chef, can show us how to make Dombolo your special way.
Fantastic. Well, I think your special way, more to the point there. I think there's only sort of real one major reason here that I'm going to sort of point out. One tip here is this guy and this guy you keep separate. They are not friends. That's yeast and salt. Now, you can put the yeast into the liquid to activate it to get it going quickly if you want. Just make sure it's warm water. That really gets the yeast going. Now, so very important when you put it into a bowl, it goes either side. So salt on the left, and I've got yeast on the right. It never mixes even at this stage. Then it needs some food, right? Like we all need food for a bit of a party. So a little bit of sugar. I'm gonna add some oil for elasticity. And then in with your lukewarm water. Remember, it needs to be body temperature. Anything higher than body temperature. If you can't hold your finger in that water, it's too hot and you're going to kill the yeast.
Dumi, I love the fact that our chef is whipping up Dombolo. I don't know if I can give you a little bit of a throwback. Kumbuli Dombolo, the dance, Dombolo. Yeah. Let's do it. Dombolo, Dombolo, Dombolo. Chef, are you able to do the Dombolo?
I can do it with my ball. How about that? Tell me what you're going to do.
Dombolo, 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 out Dombolo. Chef Chart has got the rhythm, but we are putting his cooking skills to the test today. So don't worry about the dancing. I'm sure everybody's stomach is going to be dancing throughout this Afternoon Express masterclass. Remember, if you want to find out how to make any of these soup-inspired winter warmers, just head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. Dumi, meat station, how's it looking?
Is looking great, Palesa. So the whole idea, like I mentioned, is you want to make sure that your meat browns. So if you look at this piece that I've got over here, Palesa, we make sure that we want to seal in the juice as much as we can. So this here, like Chef said earlier, where you want the color. If you were making a beef broth, this is how you'd want to roast your meat. You can either roast it in the oven or you can do this where you sear it on the outside and you've got this beautiful flavor. So all of this is flavor. And the reason why I'm doing this is we're making a beef bone soup. So we still want the flavor from the beef bones. And this is what I'm doing here. We're not going to just add everything in together like you'd normally do if you're doing a stew. Instead, we want to maintain that beef flavor. So all I'm going to do is just start searing the rest of our beef here. And if we were going to be, like in this instance, I'm not even using beef stock because the flavor is coming from all of this meat that we're putting in here, all of these bones. And then we're just building the flavor as we add all the other ingredients to this, which is the celery, the carrots, and the onion that we've got, Vale.
Today is all about the soups, Dumi.
Yes,
so earlier on, we were discussing the kind of soups, the texture, the consistency is broth, smooth, and chunky. This seems like to be more of a chunky soup.
Definitely, Palesa. And you were talking about rectifying. Whenever my mom and I had a tiff or there was a bit of sourness in the house, this is how she rectified things. She would always make me this soup just to make sure that things are back on track. So to give you guys a list of what's gone in here, I've gone in with my onion, I've gone in with my celery, onion, and some garlic. And then another depth of flavor, we're going with some thyme. Mama, I hope I'm doing it the right way because I didn't ask her if this is how she did it, but I was looking the whole time when she did it, so I hope I'm following along correctly.
And Chef, I know last week we spoke about those robust kind of herbs and aromatics, and I see Dumi went in with the thyme. I believe thyme is just one of them as well, rosemary, thyme.
Absolutely. Especially something like this, you need a herb that really is a strong or medium herb. You know, something like putting chives or parsley is just it's actually just discolor your stock or your soup that you're making. So think of those robust kind of flavor herbs that you can get: rosemary, thyme, sage, marjoram.
Double-proofed it is.
Indeed. So you've seen I've just knocked that back now. So I've made my dough. I'm going to allow it to prove up. So let it double in size. Then you're going to knock it back. All right. Then work it, manipulate it ever so slightly, because by manipulating this, you're developing the gluten. You're then going to put it back in your bowl, prove up again for the second time. Half an hour to an hour. Put it in a warm place that it can actually rise. Don't put it in direct heat, and remember, not too high heat, because otherwise you're going to kill the yeast. And then what you're going to get is this dough that has got some elasticity. It's beautiful and smooth, and that's from the developing of the glutens. How do you know it's ready? When you keep working it, it's lovely and smooth and doesn't sort of tear as such there.
It looks absolutely incredibly. From our kitchen to yours, we hope that you've enjoyed watching us make this memorable dish. Now, if you want to get this recipe, then head over to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full ingredients list. Now, Dumi, our mouths are watering. These winter warmers are truly on and popping. So what are we going to be making when we come back?
Palesa, we're keeping it very traditional, and we're going to be making a samp soup. Yes, you can have samp by its own. Yes, you can have soup on its own, but now we're putting those two together.
Ooh, lovely. Serving it with some hot bread. I'm looking forward to that. All of that when we return.